What's going on, everybody? Doc and
Islam.
back from the Average Gamer guys, bringing you. We're gonna call this Community Car Design Episode 3, but unfortunately, Sloth really has some cool designs, so we're gonna show you some more of our designs today, and we'll be getting back at this with your designs here soon. So we've got a couple submissions over the last couple of weeks. Sincerely appreciate everybody that shared with us. Keep sharing them. You can shoot them to me and my gamer tag. You can follow us down in the link below on Twitter. You can subscribe, but that's just what you're going to do anyways because this video is going to be that amazing. And keep sharing them. The next one we do, we will definitely get 4 community card designs in. We promise you that. But we can't do it without your support. So keep sending them in. We really do appreciate it. But we think we've got some cool ones for you today. What do you think, Sloth? We got some good ones?
I have a pathological need to be liked, and I'm hoping this just helps. But I think the cars are solid, so I think that's just going to help with that.
I certainly hope so. So the first design we're actually going to start off with today, and we've got 2 I'm going to cover, 2 Sloth's going to cover in detail. But the first one is actually a big, I'll call it a fan favorite, even though we're the fanboys, of just the ones you're seeing right here. So this specifically, I'll jump in. Sloth will flip back and forth on some colors once I tell him we're good because I can only now see my car. But this is the MG88. So if you're not familiar, and I think you can do this with, we were talking about this before, I think you might be able to do this with 1 or 2 other. Kilowatt I know is one. But these animated decals, what's cool about them is if you're not looking super close to them, basically it looks like you get a little bit of a neat animation going with really the entire car being painted one solid color, which is a really, really neat effect. And we'll jump in again. We'll show you some designs here. We've got red and blue side on both, but this is pretty easy to do for the most part. Again, you're going to need the decal, car, wheels. Really, the interesting thing about this setup is, and Sloth, jump in here by all means. But the interesting thing about this setup that I really like is one, it's a really clean. You get a little bit of cool animation, and then on top of that, you can really do a neat job of matching whatever car you have available to whatever wheels you got. Because typically, whatever car color you have on, you can match your wheels. It's going to look really good. Obviously, as long as those colors complement whatever your body style and body color is.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing with a lot of the designs that we're going to focus on today. A lot of them are going to be super, super cheap. Now, we love our freaking white octanes, so that's obviously not very cheap. But like you just said, if I have like a sky blue octane and I set up like a dark blue setup on the MG88 and I throw some sky blue wheels on, it's gonna look kind of cool. Like you said, just complement the colors. And honestly, this stuff is super, super cheap. I really love a white wheel, especially with the white octane on here, because it just kind of makes everything pop. But it doesn't have to be. Obviously, your inverted grips look amazing. I'm a fan of animated wheels a lot, so I love to use these Yamanes and the Reapers and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right. The wheel color and the trim on the car really accentuate this whole look.
Absolutely. So we'll show you just really quick the best way to go about putting this together. The easiest way, again, pick your poison on the car. There's MG88s. I know for the Octane. What else is there, Sloth? I can't off the top of my head. I don't remember.
I believe just the Endo, if I'm not
I
mistaken,
think
which can
definitely
be
Endo.
painted, which is cool.
Yep, definitely Endo. So a couple of options here, but again, as Sloth said, these are pretty cheap. All you got to do is get yourself an MG88, certification or not, doesn't matter. And with the paints, really essentially what you're trying to do is match them up. So you are a little limited on your primary colors, just because the selection isn't quite as big. But once you find a primary color, basically your accent color, you're just going in and you're trying to match it as close. Now you'll see if I come a shade above or below, you'll be able to see a little bit of difference. And those are honestly really cool looks as well. But if you want to get what we've got rocking, which is again just a little bit of animation, you just got to match the colors up. So it's pretty easy. And, red and blue side, very similar to each. Sloth talked about having kind of a standard, non-animated wheel. I actually like a little bit of animation with these just because you get a little bit of animation on the car. So it kind of jumps out, both pop out, and I think look pretty good. And then beyond that, again, like we've talked in other episodes before, match your boost, match your trail, match your toppers, however you guys see fit. But like we said, we want to show this off a little bit because it is kind of one of those neat design techniques and really does not take a whole lot to put together and get you a pretty clean looking car, I think.
Yeah, so many different color options. Like you said, you're a little bit limited just based on the primary color and the secondary color matching. So there's a lot of shades of blue that just don't work. There's shades of green that just don't work. But honestly, just messing around, like I made a yellow that was kind of cool, a little bright for our taste. It's something we decided not to do. But I love the dark blue. I love the sky blue that you've got rocking. The dark red. There's a medium red. I just made a pink one, just messing around while we were kind of looking at this. You have a lot of opportunities to really maybe not have like the 45 different colors that you can pick as a primary and have them all match, but you have a lot that look really good.
Yep, and like we said, definitely shooter's preference on this as far as, again, the colored body you're using and really allows you to match up with your wheels. So this is a great option if maybe your inventory is not super huge or you're just starting to get into trading a little bit. You pick up an MG88 basically on any platform for really, really cheap. So really good option, really clean car. Sloth, let's jump over to the next one. What do we got for us?
I have this wonderful winter-themed setup. I became really interested in making some really cool, like really cheap options. So as you can see, I pulled some white grip strides. Of course, they're certified and they're not inverted because RNGesus hates me. But I think they're a really cool-looking wheel. They're really bright on the outside. So those are something, again, that you can pick up for just a few keys, or you have a decent option or a decent chance, I guess I should say, of pulling these just from playing the game if you have the Rocket Pass. And I absolutely love this decal. This is the decal that was from our last holiday event. Super, super cool. I honestly love this decal so much. It's just so clean, especially with the white in there and kind of accentuating all the rest of the colors in the car, and flipping over to the red. It just looks like Christmas still. I'm going to live through Christmas for another couple of months while I have this thing on. When it starts warming up, maybe I'll put this car away. But until then, I'm just going to keep rocking this car. Especially using the red and the white, I always look for excuses to use that with that candy cane trail that we got, I think, last Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, from that event, because that's just the best looking trail.
Secret Santa crate, which was in the golden gift as well. So a lot of good options, and then Winter Storm as well comes to mind, which was a Secret Santa and a golden gift opportunity for a boost, at least on the red side. So a lot of really good customization options. What I like with the grips, and whichever way you go, again, both non-inverted obviously going to be cheaper. But even inverted are really, really becoming inexpensive at this point just because we're so far into the Rocket Pass. What's cool about those and the animation on the wheels that I like with this setup is you can see how the snowflakes are basically moving from the front to the back of the car. There's a lot of different decals that have similar animations to that. But the wheels, I think, just accentuate that movement, moving in the same direction. Everything kind of flows really nicely together, and kind of the glow inside of the wheel. I'm actually agreeing with Sloth on this one. I think the non-inverted grips here look a lot better because it makes the wheel pop a little bit, especially compared to, again, the Snowstorm decal. So really good budget option there, and solid setup. And you don't need the white octane, but it definitely does help.
It just makes everything look clean. I mean, there's a reason it's so expensive. It's so cool. But quick note, if you have epilepsy, screw these wheels. They will make you have a seizure while you're in game.
And interestingly enough, there is still a bug going around that if you want to have inverted grips, sometimes when you're playing a game, when you spawn back in, especially after getting demoed, there's a good chance you might have inverted grips. So you can enjoy non-inverted grips and inverted grips both at the same time. Just an interesting little tidbit. So, anything else on that one, Sloth? Good setup.
I don't think so. I think this one's just pretty straightforward. I think this is just kind of fits my style. That's just like kind of a super clean look. And you have so many opportunities to screw around with all of the stuff, the toppers and the antennas and the trails and the boosts and all that stuff that we've talked about. But I think just looking at this car, I love the aesthetics of this car. It's just super clean, just festive.
Yep, great setup. If you're in the south, if you're in the north, in the Americas, you're probably enjoying too much snow, which is why I don't have snow on my car. So, so let's jump over to. I've got the next one. We're cutting sloth out of this one here, but this is a little bit inspired by the kind of the gold-based design, some of the gold-based designs that we had done previously, and I just wanted to accentuate that a little bit more. I actually got into a trading lobby with somebody, and they had this set up, this decal on, and I just really like this. So what we got rocking here is the Jetstream decal. You can get the Jetstream decal both for the Octane, that's in the current Rocket Pass, and the Maverick, which came from Rocket Pass 1. So there's some options now. You can unfortunately not trade for it on this Rocket Pass because all of the premium items are locked. So you'll have to have purchased the Rocket Pass, but we're just going to make the assumption that probably just about all of you have, and if you haven't, you have until March to get 10 keys and to buy it anyways. So there's a really good chance that you'll have this one. If you do have the Maverick, or you're a big fan of the Maverick like you guys know that I am, you have the option to trade for that one, and it goes for pretty cheap. But not a super difficult setup here. I would still say this is pretty budget, but it really all depends again on what you want to pair this with. I just really like the opportunity here again to get that gold color, because I feel like the gold, especially against a dark background, really pops. So again, we're rocking the white Octane. I think that helps just kind of accentuate everything, really works with the Reaper wheels. And then again, we're jumping in, we're showing you the Jetstream color options here. Again, I would go for a really dark, honestly dark blue, dark purple could probably work. It's a little crazy in my opinion. I think your blues are going to be your best option here. And then really the big key for this is your accent color. So we're just rocking the fourth column, the very one at the top. You can play with it a little bit if you want a little bit darker or lighter. I think the top two here in that fourth column work, but I think that top one looks the best, especially when you line it up again with your Reaper wheels. Now, the guy that I jumped into a lobby with actually had standard reverbs on, and that was the best wheel in my opinion for this setup. Hands down, I'm not a reverb fan. Sloth, I don't think you're a reverb fan.
What you trying to say about me?
Exactly. However, I will just say it looked really good. The animation on it was awesome. I unfortunately don't have any, but if you have them in your inventory, again, another super easy wheel to grab and get a hold of. It looks really good, and the gold absolutely pops. He had it on the Maverick, which is what really made me make this setup, and I think that body style being over the wheels helped it a little bit, but I think you could use it either way. We haven't talked too much about boosts, but again, we're kind of going a little bit, staying with the budget idea here. Thermal Yellow, which everybody has, honestly, is a really good gold-looking boost. There's other options out there, I'm sure, but this one, you guys can just see, it matches super well. We're not big topper or antenna fans, and then really trying to find a good laser wave, or a good trail, and I was looking at laser wave, was the orange laser wave 3. Honestly, it matches almost perfect, and then what's cool about this, in my opinion for the setup, is you don't get this crazy color change that you do with some of the other laser waves. And what's nice is, again, it has a very similar profile to the decal itself, and I think matches really well. So again, overall, not a super difficult budget type car to put together. Again, you can accent it with a little bit of flair with your white Octane if you have one, but I think just the opportunity to highlight gold and to show off some of the different gold against dark backgrounds is really cool.
Yeah, having gold is just like, that's huge, right? That's the key, like, because there's not gold painted items and stuff like that. So unpainted reverbs, unpainted reapers, things that naturally just kind of can make that color pop is super cool. I know Legend Nightmare had the one build for us in a previous episode that was really accentuating gold and stuff. I think that's a really cool underutilized color that can be hard to get at times, but it's worth it when you can get it. And I just love how clean that setup is you have.
It looks, dude, the dark blue background looks awesome. And again, you get a little bit of animation. That's the cool thing, is animated decals are some of the best things in this game if you can figure out how to use them right. I'm really looking forward to, I'd be curious if anybody has any really cool 20XX designs, because you can do a lot of really neat stuff with animated decals. And these, again, everybody's got the black markets. Everybody wants to do a lot of cool stuff with the black markets. But honestly, in my opinion, they're a little limiting to some of your setup design. I think your, your limited and your very rare animated decals are some of the best. So, again, looking forward to any designs you got. And then Sloth, I'm gonna preface this for everybody. Sloth has a really cool one. Definitely has a good Rocket Pass 2 setup for you guys. I just want you maybe flip your sunglasses down or put your hand over your eyes for like a little bit until you get adjusted to what he's gonna show you. But go ahead, Sloth. I really like this design.
We saved the best for last, in my opinion. This is the piece de la resistance. This is the coolest non-octane Artemis setup that we have. I love this. This is the Huntress decal, and I'll actually flip it over because green is that much brighter. This is the Huntress decal you get from tier 64 of the Premium Rocket Pass. I've been blessed enough to pull like 7 painted Artemises
Artemi.
After games. Artemi, you're right. And was awesome by the community and I was able to find these awesome hollow rocket forges. That's the word I'm looking for. The community was really cool. Was able to source these from some folks, and this thing looks amazing. It's so cool. It's just so bright. People see you coming from a mile away. You're definitely not going to sneak up on anybody, but you feel like you're straight out of Tron, and I'm okay with that. That's a great thing. So as far as colors go, I have, it's basically the 4th green from the bottom left on this. It's really, really bright. It's like the perfect mix. Like this is the brightest green you can have. Now the secondary colors on the Artemis is strange because there's not much, at least on the Huntress decal. So I'm going to switch and flip it into white. And you can see there's just kind of some accents there, but it's not really a ton of things that are really influenced. But you can see when I flip back, it's just like this underglow that really pushes up the glow and the color of this car, and that's why you need to have sunglasses when you're around me, when you see me. But again, so a painted Artemis, which is the plank hitbox, so that's not super sought after by a lot of folks, so you're going to find it cheap. The Hunter's decal is free if you have the Rocket Pass. I'm using the green Ion boost, which is a default boost. I was able to I got the whole set of supernovas before the last Rocket Pass ended, and the same thing with the laser waves. But honestly, even though that stuff is pretty cheap to source, I actually fell in love with the Tachyon trail from this Rocket Pass, not a Rocket Pass. Fell in love with this Rocket Pass's Tachyon. I was actually a hater coming in because I hated the Rocket Pass or the Tachyon Rocket Boost, but the trail looks great. If you don't have the painted one or you don't want to invest in that, the Tachyon 2 that comes again for free with the Rocket Pass, it's not a perfect match on the color, but it is pretty dang close. And then if we just switch over to the other side, it's much the same things. I got the Crimson Hollow Rocket Forges on there, which I picked up for barely over 2 keys, 2.5 keys I think it was, and all this other stuff you should be able to get just fine. The boost, you have again a lot of different options. I love the white hex phase that I've had for a really long time, but the red standard or the painted red standard, I know I didn't describe that well, but they're two different things, because the one that comes default with the game looks a little orangey, but they do now have a painted import standard in red that looks pretty solid. And again, the where's it? Candy Cane. The Candy Cane trail never can go wrong. That's the coolest looking trail. I look for excuses to use red so that I can use that Candy Cane trail. So again, I think I have lime and I may have saffron hollow forges as well now, that I might be able to try and throw some stuff together and take a look. But this is by far and away my favorite car design that I've ever had. I just love feeling like I'm in Tron.
Absolutely awesome. And this is good. This is good for those people that maybe you don't have a super flashy play style, so you can compensate that by having this really flashy car. Or maybe you're like Sloth, who has really flashy play style and also has a really flashy car. So it works out. Re- really, really good for them. No, I think again, this is one of those design setups that you got to put the Rocket Pass 2 stuff to good use. Again, we can speak specifically to the Xbox market, but I can tell you that I'm sure this is the trend across the board, no matter what system that you're playing on. Is just that all of these, even these special edition, because those are the hollow rocket forges, those are the special edition wheels. All that stuff is just becoming super cheap. So now's a great time to go out. If you've got a couple of keys or maybe some other Rocket Pass items, you could probably pretty easily turn those into a couple color variations. And then again, the Artemis, it's a neat looking car. It got a lot of kind of mixed review at the beginning, but a lot of people have been rocking it. The painted bodies for those are super, super cheap. And again, basically, just about everything that Sloth was talking about is either default that you have an option for, or you get from the Rocket Pass 2, which is really neat. Again, we're focusing, I feel like, a lot on this episode for that, but it's good because this is an opportunity to use that stuff. You've got a couple more months through the Rocket Pass to finish. So if you don't have this stuff right now, again, it gives you a good reason to go out, grind a little bit, play some, and be able to make some pretty neat setups. And this one from Sloth, pretty dang good. Pretty choice, my man.
Oh shucks, I'm blushing. The whole point of all this, like you said, like you don't have to have Gucci slippers to be cool. You know, like it's what you do in them. It's how you rock that outfit. It's not just the name brand and the big black market decals and all that other stuff. You know, we've got some cool little items in here, but for the most part, all of this stuff is super usable. And you know, even those ion boosts, I just checked, and the ion looks great on the red side of this too. You have so many different opportunities to have like a really great car without dumping a ton of money in it. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Huntress decal specifically, I really think that when they were designing it, that was the whole purpose and goal for it. So just finding a way to accent it again with the hollow rocket forges and some of those other little touches. Again, the painted body I think really helps in that design. So, and again, they're cheap. They're really cheap. You should be able to find most of them. At least on Xbox, you could probably buy almost every single painted Artemis body for like a key, like together total. Maybe not the white one, but I think you could probably find somebody out there selling a bunch of them at the same time. So a lot of really cool options. And that wraps it up for us today. So 4 really neat designs. Again, nothing from the community, and we apologize for that, but we had some neat designs that we wanted to share with you. And now, again, here's your chance. So first and foremost, if you're new, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for taking a look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you got some really cool ideas that you can take back and work some of your own designs. And if you do, share those with us. Again, one of the best way is just follow us on Twitter. Again, the link is in the description for that. If you don't have a Twitter, totally fine. We totally understand. Twitter's the best option if you play on a different platform, though. That's the best way that you're going to be able to get us the design because it's easy. You can snap a couple pictures, upload them right to us, and we'll have them right away. We've had a couple submissions that way, so thank you guys so much for that. If you are on Xbox and you want to shoot them to us, you shoot them to myself or Sloth. You guys know our gamer tags. Just do a screen capture or a couple screen captures and go ahead and share. Like I said, we're really looking forward to continuing this series, and it's really neat not only to give you guys a little bit of shout out, but to see what other designs you have out there. Like I said, if anybody has a really cool 20XX design, it's not a super expensive black market decal, please share those with us too. I think that's one of the few, in my opinion, black markets that gives you a lot of really cool color options. So looking forward to, please do share that stuff with us, and we'll be happy to feature some of you guys in the next episode and episodes beyond that. So keep sharing your designs. And as always, just thank you so much. Really do appreciate the community support on everything, not only this video, but all the other videos, the series that we've got going on. And we're continuing to grow because of you guys. So thank you very much. That's really all I've got to say, Sloth. Any final words for the team out there?
For the folks, you guys rock. Honestly, we're blown away consistently by the support and just how cool you guys are. So continue to send in all of that stuff. Like Doc said, I'm looking for replays for coaching videos and stuff as well. So anything you need, anything you want, let us know and we'll do our best.
Yeah, Coaching Corner. Don't forget about that. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching. I'm Doc. That's Sloth. We're the Average Gamer guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.